Y'all, I'm about to show y'all the wildest video ever. Okay, so go ahead and watch it, and then we'll discuss afterward.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
You do?
Papa.
I don't believe that.
What?
I don't believe that.
So where are you going?
Rory, come on. Rory, come on.
Hey.
Help! Help!
Did someone come here?
That was my wife. She got chased from this.
Who chased her?
She said somebody in the silver truck.
Gray truck, and he came
So
around the corner,
I don't know if you guys have a
I was
video.
in the street, and so I come up, and I just have my kids, and so I'm like gonna pretend that I'm coming home, and so I pull up and I start walking to your back gate, and he stops here and he goes, "Are you looking for someone?" I said, "Nope," and then he sat here, and I was like, "I need to get in."
Well, that's my husband. That's why he lives here. Yeah. He lives here. So he came in and he said there's a lady screaming. And I'm like, that's...
She got all worried that she
I'm scared of the crap out of me.
How?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How did he scare you, though?
I had a feel.
I just seen her in the driveway and I was like, are you looking for somebody?
Well, you just have to understand my point of view. Being by myself with two kids, I just saw a car coming, and so I was like, oh, it scared me, and so I just pulled up here, and I kept thinking, this could be his house. But you didn't say, this is my home. You just said, are you looking? And I was like,
I did. When you was on the porch, you asked me, did I live here? I said, yeah.
And you said, no, you don't.
I'm just gonna go right ahead and I'm gonna play the intro. I'm gonna play the intro because Chile. So let's give a recap of what happened here so that we're all on the same page, right? This black man pulled up to his home, right? He drove up to his house, and this white woman was standing on the porch with her two children. And she asked him, do you live here? And he says, yeah. And she says, I don't believe you. And then she runs off with her kids. She's like, come on, come on. She runs off screaming, help, help, right? So then her husband comes and the black guy's wife comes outside and everybody's like, what is going on, right? So at that point, the white woman is like, oh, like you scared me. Like, you know, I'm out here alone with my two kids. So like, try to see it from my perspective, so and so and so. And like, you didn't say you lived here. So how was I supposed to know? And then the black woman is like, he did say he lived here. And you said, no, he didn't. Right. And y'all, now this is the point. This is the point where if we rewind the clock about 100 years, right? This is the point where the lynch mob would have came, okay? So this white woman came sniffing around these black people's houses. She decided that she was scared of what? I'm not really sure, right? I guess just black people existing because nobody did nothing to her, right? And then she ran off screaming, help, help, help. And again, if we rewind the clock 100 years, that is where the mob would have formed. First of all, what are you scared of? Like, first of all, you're on my porch. Now, according to what the white woman said, I guess she saw the black guy driving around in her neighborhood and she immediately was like, oh my God, a black, right? So I guess that's why she claimed she ran up on their porch to pretend that she was going into the house or whatever, right? Okay, but that still begs the question, what exactly were you afraid of? You saw a black guy driving and minding his business and you were like, oh, that's dangerous? Like, seriously? And, you know, we have to have an honest and open discussion here and just speak realistically, okay? Let's talk about slavery. Y'all know, look, one thing about me, I'm gonna bring slavery up, okay? Let's talk about this seriously, right? Because there are all these studies that are done on transatlantic slavery, right? And the effects that slavery has on African Americans today, right? So a lot of people are studying transgenerational trauma, how the trauma of your ancestors can very well affect you today, right? Now, first of all, transgenerational trauma is not something only found in slavery. It's found in any group of people who has gone through any traumatic event, right? Like, for example, is found in like Indian populations because they experienced so many famines due to the British that to this day, a lot of Indian people from those regions, they still have genes upregulated that basically make it harder for them to lose weight because their ancestors were starving, right? So their bodies are still like, oh, keep this weight on in case another famine comes, right? So even though they never directly experienced these famines because their ancestors did, they're still living with these epigenetic changes, right? So people study these epigenetic changes and how they play a role in the descendants of transatlantic slavery, right? But let me tell you what I never like about these studies, just in general. These studies only ever focus on the victims. They never focus on the aggressors. I'm saying that because you're telling me that my ancestors were so traumatized from transatlantic slavery that they passed the trauma down to me. But white people's ancestors didn't pass anything down to them? Really? That's what you're telling me? Because let's put ourselves in their shoes, right? Pretend that you are a black person living through slavery and or Jim Crow. And think about how terrifying it must have been. Like, quite literally, the stuff that was going on, horrific, right? Pretend you're living in one of those towns that a white lynch mob comes through to burn down, right? And you flee into the night, you just trying to survive, right? And you turn around and you look back and you see the flames going up and you see the lynch mob just, stringing up the folks who couldn't make it and stuff. And you see all that and imagine how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Imagine the fight or flight symptoms coming, your heart's beating fast. You're terrified. You may very well be next, right? So you telling me that the countless African Americans who went through stuff like that, they were so traumatized that they passed it on to their descendants. But the white people who were engaging in stuff like that, who were in the lynch mobs and stringing people up from trees and burning down houses and feeding kids to alligators and so and so and so, you telling me they didn't pass nothing down to their descendants? That's what you're telling me. Now, when I see a video like this, how this white woman just operated, I cannot help but think that she got something passed down from her ancestors as well. It's not just me getting stuff from my ancestors. This scenario literally reeks of Jim Crow. Like, quite literally, this white woman made some shit up. Oh, this black man scared me. Help, help, help. Y'all, is this not literally what happened to Emmett Till? Is this not literally what happened to him? And Caroline Bryant, whatever her name was, she admitted later that she lied. She made the entire thing up and got Emmett Till killed for absolutely no reason. Is this not the exact same thing? Is this white woman not acting just like her ancestors? And, it's going to hurt a lot of feelings, but this discussion needs to be had because I was just thinking about today. We were literally enslaved for longer than we were freed, right? And then I scrolled past this video and somebody had said, she was like, yeah, after slavery, we should have killed all the enslavers and their families because instead of that, they went ahead and they joined, like the police force and they became political figures and this, that, and so and so and so. And that's the reason that we're in the situation that we're in today. And quite literally, we are sitting here not that far removed from slavery and Jim Crow. And we sitting here acting like everything is good in the hood, but it's not though. It's like it's damn near the same things going on. Now, in no way am I attempting to say that I'm going through the same exact things as my ancestors. Not even close, not even remotely. I don't want to downplay, anything that they went through, right? But what I'm saying is I recognize a lot of the same players in this game. I definitely do, right? Because was this not textbook Jim Crow slavery era white woman? You see a black dude minding his business, yell, help, help. And then the lynch mob comes, they kill the black family, and y'all go to church and celebrate. Like, this is literally, it's the same exact thing y'all have always done, right? And let me tell you what the scary part is, right? The scary part is after she gets confronted about this, after her husband is like, what are you like, huh? And the black wife is like, what is going on, right? She puts her mask right on and begins to gaslight and play the victim. Oh, put yourself in my shoes. Don't you see why I was scared? Oh, like, I didn't know you lived here, so and so and so. you knew exactly what you were doing. You in this predominantly white neighborhood, right? That's why you didn't believe that he lived there. You in this white ass neighborhood. You know good and well how they're going to react to a black man, being in the neighborhood at all. But then you talk about, oh, I was scared, help, so and so and so. You know exactly what you are doing. Like, come on now. And y'all are finna be in the comments like, Flower Tower burn, the Cape stop muling for black men, so and so and so, yada, yada, yada. But first of all, this is my thing. I'm going to call out racism in all forms against all types of black people, okay? I don't care about whatever gender divide y'all claim we got going on or anything. Of course, those discussions need to be had, absolutely. But I'm never going to sit here and ignore racism because it's targeted at a different sort of black person. I don't care if that black person is a black man or a black African or whatever. I don't care how bad black men do me. I don't care how bad black Africans do me. I don't care whatever. I know for a fact that I'm going to call out racism every time I see it, right? And then my other thing is this. I tell y'all all the time, it's not possible for a white person to hate some black people but not the others. So yeah, she used the black man as a scapegoat this time, but what if that black woman had lived alone? Like I live alone, right? Say I bought a house in that neighborhood and she saw me pulling up to my house. Do you think that she would have welcomed me with open arms? Or do you think that I would have gotten a similar welcoming? Like, let's be realistic here, right? So she used the easy excuse of, oh, he's a black guy. He's a guy. That's why I was scared, right? But realistically, if he'd been a woman, she would have done the exact same thing because these people do this with all black people. And you know what I gotta call out? Because some of y'all niggas stay on social media talking about, oh, Becky love her. They don't like black women, but they love the Black King. They love the BBC, the Jungle BDD, and do. Y'all be on that stupid shit. But look at how you're actually received by Becky. How many stories have we heard? Like, y'all know the funniest one I'm never going to stop laughing at? It's when the black guy was dating a white woman and her family said he couldn't come in the house for Thanksgiving. So do you think the white woman was like, oh, well, we're not coming over there. Forget y'all, right? No, they went over there and she told him to sit on the porch like a fucking dog while she went there and they had their holiday. And would you believe he did that shit? Would you believe he sat there and did that shit? Like, these people keep treating y'all like animals, but y'all will come to my YouTube talking some stupid shit. Oh, Becky love her, the black man, the more to die, the black man, Bitch, you don't even love your goddamn self. So how can anybody else fucking love you? And you know what the scary thing is? The scary thing is, I really don't think the average black person realizes how much white people hate us. Because this is my thing, black people will sit around talking crap. Oh, I hate white people. I can't stand them, so and so and so. But we not realizing there's a very serious difference between our hatred for them and their hatred for us. When we say we hate white people, it's really like, I just want y'all to leave us alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going out my way to harm y'all. It's not like, hey, let's go hang some crackers from some trees, my dog, diggity. It's not like that, right? But when these people hate us, it's a whole different thing. And again, I feel like the disconnect is coming from the fact that on average, we don't really get how much these people hate us. But something that helped me kind of put it into perspective is the fact that white people will have half black kids, right? And they'll hate their kids and be racist to their kids. And it's like your hatred of black people, right, supersedes any maternal or paternal instincts that you have, right? Anybody who has kids or who has ever been pregnant or thought they was pregnant, because I had a pregnancy scare, right? And I wasn't even really pregnant. But as soon as you think you're pregnant, there's a crazy bond there. Wasn't even nothing in my stomach. And I was like, oh my God, like what, right? And I'm sharing that because I'm trying to give some insight into how strong the maternal bond is for people who've never been pregnant or, had kids or whatever, right? So you telling me that your hatred for black people supersedes the maternal instinct? Come on now. Now, you know what? Black people are still going through stuff like this today in 2025. And instead of white people just being like, yeah, racism exists and we don't care, they will sit there and they'll gaslight us. Oh my God, the perpetual victims. Oh my goodness, why is everything about race, my dog, diggity? All you saw me do was drive my car into my driveway so that I could go into my house, and you started running and screaming help. because of my race, right? But then when I talk about this, you're going to be talking about, oh, why does everything have to be about race? Like, seriously? Come on. Like, it just be a slap in the face how y'all be gaslighting about this shit. Stand on it. Stand on it. Just say, yeah, racism exists and we don't care. The crazy thing is white people can never acknowledge racism existing in their time, right? If you go back and look at interviews from the Jim Crow era, right? You will hear white people saying stuff like, oh, racism doesn't exist now. You know, like, we freed the slaves. There's no more racism. They were saying stuff like this during the Jim Crow era. So it's really not surprising when you have white people today talking about racism doesn't exist, even when it's right there in their faces, because it's always a gaslighting thing. It's always, you know, an effort to pretend that they have no role in dismantling white supremacy. Because if they acknowledge that racism exists today, well, then the question becomes, what are you doing about it? And the answer, of course, is nothing.